Hi again. All right, this is Randi Botnick. I am channeling a group of entities called the Federation of Councils. This is our second video in our series, which we're going to be doing more of. My friend Anthony, who has many questions, which I'm sure many of you share, has agreed to ask the questions for me while I receive the information from an entity from the Federation. And I'm just going to take a moment to connect, and then Anthony, you can begin to ask anything you would like. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. In this segment, I'd like to ask you about the connection between your thoughts and your physical health.
Mm-hmm.
In the previous video, which I suggest everybody go back and watch first, the implication was that your body is almost a separate consciousness in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just start out with an overall how everything connects mind, spirit, and physical health?
Yes. Visualize, if you will, your spirit or your higher self as a waft of smoke. And then pick a color for that waft of smoke. Choose whatever color makes you feel happy today. That energy is impetus energy that comes in to its experience of life with an agenda for personal growth. Many choices have been made before that spirit individuates into a human being. Many of those choices are general. And one of the choices includes which body to incarnate into. Every spirit energy has the option of choosing a body that would provide it with wonderful challenges and opportunities. Those challenges may be physical, they may be emotional, it may be about how the body responds to the physical world. And every body responds to the physical world in a different way. And that's based on a very complicated web of intricacy, such as genetics, the karma of the land in which the body is born to, the zodiac, which are basically the energies and the karma of the planets under which the body is born, family history, and DNA. And all of this together, which is even much more complicated because each one of those is a complicated web of intricacy, and all added together create a human body that is built to experience and respond to the world around it. Then, like a loving friend, higher self or spirit chooses which body to embrace and love in this lifetime, much like a human being will go to the pound and choose a dog to live with. And in that relationship, the human and the dog learn each other, and they learn how to interact. And in some of those relationships, The human being is the master, and the dog succumbs to the master. And in other relationships, the human being and the dog become best friends. And in some of the relationships, the human being turns away from the dog and the dog rebels by becoming very wild and out of control. And this is very much like how each being experiences and works with the human body. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's a great answer. I'll ask a specific question then. If, let's say, somebody watching this has a physical handicap, would the higher self specifically choose to experience something as extreme as a physical handicap?
Yes.
It would.
Absolutely.
So if somebody watching, let's say right now, has a physical handicap, and it was chosen before they came in, how would that person reconcile, and I'm just feeling like the victimhood that somebody like that might feel, how would you advise somebody who feels that victimhood, like what did I do to deserve this? How would they come together with their higher selves to create that beautiful relationship that you just described?
So your question presupposes that everyone who is handicapped feels victimized, and I will tell you that many do not. That some egos and personality types feel that life is unfair or has been thrust upon them, regardless of how their body works. Those are just some personality types.
Sure.
And everybody comes with challenges. Physicality is just one of many challenges that the spirit chooses. And any personality can choose victimhood in any of those situations. So to presuppose that physical discomfort creates victimization is the wrong question.
That's the wrong question. Okay.
Every person chooses challenges in this lifetime. They incarnate desiring growth that comes through challenge, because growth does not come through nothing. Growth does not come through an experience that does not provide impetus for change. So, regardless of the challenge, the ego challenge that comes with that, I'd like to restate that to say, regardless of the conflict, the ego challenge is to learn all about themselves in the face of that challenge or conflict, to learn who they are based on the obstacles along their path. Of course, beings learn from positive experiences as well, but of course that is not your question. Your question presupposes, I must say, that conflict is bad, or conflict is negative, or hurtful. And that is, yes, one way to look at it. Your challenge is to open to understanding that all stress provides wonderful opportunities to understand others, to sympathize with others, to become a beacon of light in the world to others, and even to offer others opportunity to build their own compassion. Now, that said, that does not include karmic experiences. However, karmic experiences are also chosen by the Spirit as a way to, let's say, even its own playing field. Because, for instance, if you have a palette of paint and you only add blue, at some point you want to find another color to add to it to begin to even out the palette. And over many, many, many incarnations of many different experiences, because I'm not only talking about human, we create a palette of more colors imaginable on this planet. And again, this fullness of experience, this completeness of experience is the purpose.
So, I have several questions, but I'll start with this one. So what I understand from the answer, and this is a beautiful answer, and it would be very nice if somebody who was going through an illness could step back and take that beautiful view of it. Let's say, are there two different ways you can get sick? Is there a way that your higher self chose that challenge for you on purpose? Let's say your higher self chose for you to get cancer on purpose. Or you can get cancer through eating poorly, negative thoughts, eating and exposing yourself to toxins.
They're one and the same.
They're one and the same. Really? I would have guessed opposite. Explain that.
There are absolutely no mistakes or surprises.
Oh.
None.
None. So
all impetus leads to the same results.
All impetus leads to the same. Can you explain that a little?
Sure.
In more detail?
How does one person choose to live where they live? Or end up living where they live? So that potentially they're exposed to a toxic material.
Sure.
How does one person pick a family who teaches them bad health habits while another person chooses a family that teaches them good health habits? How does a person have experiences as a child, and say two people in the household have the same childhood experiences, and one of those people becomes a great teacher based on those experiences, and another of those people becomes an addict? You know, all experiences are less predestined than prearranged, and the Spirit comes in with a bit of knowing of how to maneuver through those experiences in a way that will lead to the final results of health or ill health. That said, there's also, while we're here, the ability to become off track because we're so far removed from Spirit. But again, we spoke about this in the first recording, which is we're off track when we believe that the ego is in charge. and we're more on track when we're more connected to spirit. But either way, all roads lead to the result that creates the experience the higher self wishes to have.
Okay, I get that. So, with all that said, if there's somebody watching this video that has an illness or a physical condition that they're perceiving as negative, what would your advice to them be to help shift them back into a healthy state of being?
The difficulty in answering this question is that it's too broad.
Okay.
There are too many people with too many
different things.
Things. And this is why oftentimes New Age speak gets in trouble, is because we're asked to compartmentalize something that is too large. And after a while it starts sounding like blame. But I will say that divine connection offers a state of grace that can change everything.